Have you ever stopped to think that this morning will never return? That this exact moment, with the soft light touching your skin, with the air entering your lungs, with the silence or sound surrounding you, is unique and unrepeatable? Breathe deeply now. Feel the weight of your body where you're sitting or lying down. Feel life pulsing within you. Because as you read these words, the last dawn of the year unfolds before you, like a blank canvas, waiting for you to paint on it, not with the colors of regret or haste, but with the gentleness of peace. This morning is a sacred portal. It carries within it the energy of everything you lived through in the last 12 months, and at the same time whispers promises of what is still to come. And you, my dear, you are here, present, alive, breathing. That in itself is already a miracle that deserves to be honored. I know that perhaps you woke up with a knot in your throat. Perhaps there's a mental list of everything you didn't do, of everything that was left behind, of all the what-ifs that dance in your mind like persistent shadows. Perhaps you're tired, not just physically, but with that deep weariness that dwells in the soul, the tiredness of carrying unmet expectations, of holding pains you can barely name, of pretending everything is fine when a part of you still bleeds from invisible wounds. And it's okay to feel that. You don't need to mask your humanity with forced smiles or with affirmations that don't yet make sense in your heart. Allow yourself to be exactly who you are in this moment. A complex, deep human being who did the best they could with what they had, with what they knew, with the light they could see. But now, as this last morning of the year unfolds, I want to offer you something different. Not a list of resolutions, not a demand disguised as motivation, but a simple and transformative truth. You deserve to close this cycle with peace. And that peace doesn't need to be conquered through great achievements or through a radical and instant transformation. It's available to you now, in this exact instant, waiting only for you to open your hands and receive it. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe deeply, allowing the air to fill your lungs completely. And as you exhale, imagine that you're releasing, like leaves carried by the wind, everything that no longer serves you. Every tension, every impossible demand, every narrative that diminishes you. Let go. You have divine permission to release. I choose to close this year with peace. Repeat this with me, out loud or in the silence of your heart. I choose to close this year with peace. Feel how these words reverberate within you, creating waves of relief, opening spaces where there was only pressure before. This affirmation is not a distant wish, it's a present choice. It's a door you can walk through now. Because you see, when you choose peace, you're not denying what was difficult. You're not pretending everything was perfect. You're actually doing something much braver. You're looking at everything that happened with compassion, recognizing that each experience, even the roughest ones, shaped you in some way. And now you can choose to extract the wisdom without carrying the weight. Think with me for a moment. When you plant a seed in the earth, you don't keep digging every day to check if it's growing. You trust in the invisible process that happens beneath the surface. You water, you offer light, and you wait with wise patience. The same happened with you this year. Even in the moments when you didn't see growth, even when everything seemed stagnant or even in retreat, something was happening inside you. Roots were deepening, strength was being built, wisdom was being woven in silence. And now, on this sacred morning, you can look back and recognize you blossomed. Perhaps not in the way you imagined, perhaps not in the time you planned, but you blossomed in your own unique way, in your perfect season, exactly as it should be. I trust in the divine timing of my life. Feel these words. I trust in the divine timing of my life. Nothing that happened was wasted. Nothing was in vain. Every tear watered your inner garden. Every challenge strengthened your roots. Every loss opened space for new encounters. You are exactly where you need to be. But I know there's a voice inside you that may be whispering, but what if I had done differently? What if I had chosen another path? What if I had said yes when I said no, or no when I said yes? These questions may seem harmless, but they carry the subtle poison of guilt and regret. And you, my dear, you don't need that poison anymore. Let's do something together now. Let's look at those choices not as mistakes, but as necessary steps in your journey. Every decision you made, even those that in retrospect seem wrong, was made by a you who was doing the best possible in that moment, with that level of awareness, with those circumstances, with that heart. And you know what's really liberating? Recognizing that you don't need to live in that moment anymore. You don't need to be hostage to the choices of the past anymore. Because this new day, this last morning of the year, offers you something powerful. The chance to forgive yourself completely. Breathe deeply now. And as you exhale, say internally, I forgive myself for not knowing then what I know now. Repeat, I forgive myself for not knowing then what I know now. Feel how these words cut the invisible chains that bound you to the past. You're freeing yourself. You're allowing yourself to be human. And that is sacred. Think of an ocean. When waves hit the beach, they don't carry guilt for the previous waves. They simply arrive, touch the sand, and return to the sea. That's the natural rhythm of life. Movement, flow, constant renewal. And you're part of that rhythm. You don't need to fight against it. You can surrender to it, trust it, dance with it. And as you allow yourself that forgiveness, as you release the moorings of it should have been different, something magical begins to happen. You create space. Space for gratitude, space for peace, space for the version of you that is emerging now, lighter, wiser, more aligned with your true essence. Because you see, gratitude is not just a beautiful feeling, it's a transformative force. When you give thanks, even for difficult experiences, you change the frequency at which you're vibrating. You shift from victim to learner, from defeated to strengthened, from lost to guided. So now, in this sacred moment, I invite you to make a mental list. Not of failures or flaws, but of invisible victories. Give thanks for waking up today. Give thanks for your heart that beats without you having to ask. Give thanks for the tears that cleansed your vision and allowed you to see more clearly. Give thanks for the dark nights that taught you to trust your inner light. Give thanks for the people who left, because they taught you about boundaries and about the importance of choosing who walks beside you. Give thanks for the doors that closed, because they redirected you to paths you would never have discovered otherwise. Give thanks even for the pains, because they made you more compassionate, more deep, more human. I am grateful for everything I lived this year. Breathe with this affirmation. I am grateful for everything I lived this year, even what hurt, even what didn't make sense at the time. Everything was part of your growth. Everything was part of your transformation. And you know what happens when you choose gratitude? You open portals for miracles, not the explosive miracles you see in movies, but the subtle and profound miracles that happen inside you. A shift in perspective, an unexpected peace, a renewed confidence. These are the true miracles, and they're available to you now, because you don't need to wait until tomorrow to start again. You don't need to wait until midnight to feel transformed. This morning, this exact instant, is as sacred and powerful as any other. And when you recognize that, when you honor the now with your total presence, you align with the energy of the universe. There's a greater intelligence operating in your life. Perhaps you call it universe, God, source, divine energy. The name doesn't matter as much as the understanding that you're not alone. You never were. Even in the moments when loneliness seemed crushing, even when you felt completely abandoned, there was an invisible presence sustaining you, guiding you, loving you unconditionally. And this presence doesn't judge you for your stumbles. It doesn't keep a record of your mistakes. It sees only the light that you are, the divinity that dwells in you, the infinite potential that pulses in every cell of your being. And it's here this morning saying, you are loved, you are worthy, you are enough, exactly as you are. Allow yourself to receive this, not with your mind, but with your heart. Feel how your chest expands when you truly believe that you are loved without conditions, without needing to prove anything, without needing to be different from what you are. I am loved exactly as I am. Repeat, I am loved exactly as I am. And let this truth flood every part of you. Now, as this morning continues to unfold, I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine that you're standing before a golden gate. On one side is everything this year was, the joys and sorrows, the victories and defeats, the encounters and farewells. On the other side is the unknown, the new cycle that's about to begin, full of possibilities not yet written. And you're exactly in the middle, at the threshold, in the sacred space between what was and what will be. And you know what your only task is in this moment? Simply to breathe, simply to be present, simply to choose to walk through that gate with peace in your heart. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to know exactly where you're going. You don't need to have a perfect plan or absolute guarantees. You only need to take one step at a time, trusting that the path will reveal itself as you walk. And you know what gives you that confidence? The memory that you've already walked through so many gates before. You've already faced so many endings and beginnings. And every time, every single time, you found a way to move forward. You're more resilient than you imagine. You're stronger than you believe. You're more capable than your mind sometimes makes you think. I trust in my ability to begin again. Feel this. I trust in my ability to begin again. No matter how many times you've fallen, no matter how many times you've needed to reinvent yourself, you always found a way. And you'll find it again. Because you see, life isn't a straight ascending line, it's a spiral. Sometimes you visit the same themes, the same lessons, the same fears. But each time you return to them, you're at a different level of consciousness. You're looking from a higher perspective. You're equipped with more wisdom. And that means you're not stuck. You're not stagnant. You're evolving even when it seems like you're just going in circles. Trust the process. Trust the spiral. Trust yourself. Now, my dear, as this morning walks toward its peak, I want to invite you. A simple invitation, but deeply transformative. Choose consciously how you want to close this year. Not how you think you should. Not how others expect, but how your heart truly desires. Perhaps you want to close with celebration, recognizing your victories large and small. Perhaps you want to close with contemplative silence, honoring everything you lived. Perhaps you want to close with forgiveness, releasing who hurt you and releasing yourself from any guilt. Perhaps you want to close with renewed hope, planting seeds of intention for what's to come. There's no right or wrong way. There's only your way. And when you honor that, when you allow yourself to close this cycle in a way that truly resonates with who you are, you align with a peace that no external circumstance can steal from you. And remember, peace doesn't mean absence of challenges. Peace means presence in the midst of them. Peace means the ability to breathe deeply even when everything around you is in chaos. Peace means trusting that no matter what happens, you have within you everything you need to get through it. And you do. You always did. And you always will. As the sun continues its journey across the sky on this last morning of the year, carry with you this truth: you are a walking miracle. Every breath is proof that life still has wonderful plans for you. Every beat of your heart is a drum playing the music of your unique existence. And this year that's closing was just one chapter in the epic story that is your life. There will be more chapters. Some will make you laugh. Some will make you cry. Some will leave you speechless from how beautiful or intense they are. But all of them will be part of your growth, your evolution, your journey back home to the truest essence of who you are. And as you walk toward the new cycle that's about to begin, know that you don't go alone. You carry with you the wisdom of everything you lived. You carry the strength of everything you overcame. You carry the light that never went out, even in the darkest nights. And you carry the blessing of the universe, which whispers in your ear, I am with you. I always was. I always will be. So breathe deeply one last time. Feel your heart beating in harmony with the pulse of the cosmos. Feel your feet on the ground, connected with the earth that sustains you. Feel your crown open to the sky, receiving light and divine guidance. You are complete. You are whole. You are ready. This morning won't come back, it's true, but it left you transformed. It left you lighter. It left you with the certainty that you deserve all the peace, all the love, all the abundance that the universe has to offer. And that certainty no one can take from you. Go now. Go with peace in your heart. Go with gratitude on your lips. Go with the courage to be exactly who you are. Go with the confidence that the best is yet to come. Go knowing that you are and always were enough, more than enough. You are a masterpiece in constant evolution, a unique and unrepeatable expression of the divine. And when the sun sets today, when this year finally closes, you'll look back not with regret, but with compassion, not with fear, but with hope, not with doubt, but with the deep conviction that you did exactly what you needed to do. This was your year, with all its imperfections and wonders. And now you're free to release, to give thanks, to move forward. This morning won't come back, but you continue. And that, my dear, is the greatest gift of all.